When an accidental killing leads to another, an ordinary man finds himself stuck in a chase with a detective, a very good detective, who believes that there is a serial killer at hand. This is the story of Lee Tang in a crime thriller Korean series titled Akillerparadox. Hello Muse, welcome back to my channel. I am Mushia. If you are new here, welcome and do not forget to subscribe to the channel.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
Synopsis.
In this series, we are introduced to Lee Tang, a man who is struggling through life and is contemplating moving to Canada. One day, his ordinary job at the convenience store takes a dark turn when he encounters two drunk men, which led to a fatal confrontation, making Lee Tang a murderer. As he struggles with the consequence of his actions, we are introduced to the shrewd detective Nangam, who enters the scene trying to solve this murder case, only to find out that the victim who was killed by Lee Tang is a serial killer who has been on the run for a very long time. The plot thickens when we see a mysterious blind woman approach Lee Tang and tell him that he has knowledge of his secret dealing and of the encounter that happened the night before, initiating a dangerous game of blackmailing. The weight of his actions and the blackmail takes a toll on his mental health, and Lee Tang snaps for the second time, pushing him to commit other heinous crimes, including killing the so-called mysterious woman and two other teenagers who tried to attack him. Realizing that he's spiraling out of control, Lee Tang decides to turn himself in. However, we see Detective Nangam also intensify his search for this so-called murderer or serial killer. Since the first incident, there have been a lot of continuous killing within that radar. With his investigation intensifying and with Lee Tang feeling that the detective is closing in on him, he decides to gather all the evidence against him and turn himself in. While on his way to turn himself in, a stroke of luck intervened in his life where the evidence is stolen by robbers. With fate and luck on his side and Detective Nangam closing in on him, will Lee Tang be arrested and brought to justice, or will fate keep on backing and protecting him? Watch out to find out. This movie is full of suspense, it's full of drama, and as well as comedy.
Things I liked.
The first thing I like is the storyline. The storyline is very nice, it's very unique. It also helps you to understand how the mind of people works, how when we do something and later we try to rationalize it and make ourselves not feel guilty of it. Because after the first kill, Lee Tang was feeling very guilty. He realized that what he did was bad. He was not supposed to do that. But after realizing that the person he killed was a serial killer, he began to justify that he was right at the end of the day. He's not a killer. He has saved mankind from a monster. But he was wrong because he is not the one supposed to mete out justice. But it turned out that after he realizing that the person was bad, all those mental torture that he was going through vanished. The next thing I loved was the suspense. The suspense in this movie is really great because of how the production was done. It makes you become more involved in the story, especially the character of Sung Joon, who was the main target of the detective. It kind of makes you want to know who Sung Joon is at some point in time. You would like to know if he was helping Lee Tang or he was on his own quest. Like that part in, I think, episode 6, 7 there, it was kind of fluctuating. You wanted to know who Sung Joon is, why Detective Nangam was after him. It's very, very interesting. It arose your suspense. it arose your interest. It makes you want to know what will happen next. And that was why I binged this movie in a day. I watched everything, I would say in less than a day, because that's how good the story was. Another thing I love is the setting, lighting, and production. It gives you a feeling of a true crime documentary, you see, where it's like it's really happened in real life. Like the setting of how most of the murders were committed, how he tries to flee. It's more natural. It makes you understand how the minds of a serial killer works. Yes, it's not more theatrical like one day when you see it, you'll be like, oh, this one is a movie. In this case, it's more like a documentary. And also the series going back and forth between the present, the past, and also showing the narrative or things going through Lee Tang's mind while he commits these heinous crimes or this killing makes you understand like what you see as a person when you see a serial killer is not what is going on in their head. Because before the Tangs does everything, like in episode 2, when he was killing the woman, it was because the woman called him a dog and it kind of like snapped something in him. And you feel the change within him before like it's done. And also seeing how like he attacks the woman, you can see in his mind he feels like he's liberating himself from the verbal abuse that the woman used on him. Yes, thereby he doesn't see it as he killing someone. He sees it as him liberating himself and freeing himself, which makes it kind of unique. And also, another thing I loved was the acting. The acting was good because the beginning with how Lita was struggling with life and with his first murder, you can see that he was like not comfortable with it. The second one, the third one, and the guilt was eating him up. And later, when he realized that he was doing all this killing because those people were bad, and he was somehow bringing justice to mankind. You see the switch. The switch was very great and was very nice because it makes you see how after you commit certain hideous crimes, when you get the justification for it, your conscience becomes free from like the evil that you've done. Yes. So this made me see why most killers don't feel guilty or sympathy. You see, because they justify whatever they do. They justify it to the T. Also, Detective Nangam is a good detective. Like his brain also is wired and works like that of a serial killer, like that of a criminal. So he's able to see like through the lies, through the manipulations that is going on to know who and who is at fault here. He's not swayed by emotions, he's not swayed by all that is going around him. Another person whose acting I loved was Ruben, who was Lee Tang's sidekick. He's a good sidekick. He's a loyal one. For him to give up his life for Lee Tang and try to make Lee Tang go scot-free. After all, he brought this innocent kid into the world of murder because the guy had decided to stop and travel to Canada, change his life and live afresh. He made him to continue the killing. So he using Song Chun as a scapegoat and himself as a scapegoat so that Lee Tang can be free is very applaudable and good of a sidekick.
Things I did not like.
In as much as I like the back and forth between the present, the past, sometimes it get confusing. If you forward it a little, you may not be able to understand the story. So you have to sit tight and watch through everything. If not, you get confused because the occasional disjoint of showing the past, then coming to show the present, kind of makes it confusing and not understand where the storyline is going. That is where the suspense comes from, but at the same time, it gets you confused. So you have to watch past those scenes to the next few scenes before you understand what was happening previously. If not, you will not understand most of like the scenes and most of the movie. But beside that, the movie is great and it's very, very interesting. I'll give this movie an 8 over 10. After all, A Killer's Paradox is a must-watch movie, especially if you are a true crime lover, if you're a trailer lover, if you're a crime trailer lover. Like, it's a nice movie with how the movie is produced to arouse your suspense. You will stick to it. You may even binge watching it because it's very interesting and the storyline is unique. Besides the storyline being unique, the comedic aspect brought in by Rubin and Song Joon is very interesting. It's very nice. It makes it more lighter, but at the end of the day, it's a killer's paradox. People are not understanding the ending, but I believe this ending is perfect for season one because it opens up the movie for the next season. In the last episode, we see that Lee Tang is exonerated from all this killing and the blame is put on Ruben and Sunjun. However, we saw that Lee Tang traveled out of Korea. He ran away from Korea, but we also see him returning and we see him on the road, meaning that in the next season, he may commit more heinous crimes or he may choose to live as a good citizen, helping the detective. So in each and every way, the movie is open for the next storyline to come. That'll be all for today's video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. I beg you, subscribe, like and comment on this video on what your expectations were, what you learned from the movie, what you liked and what you did not like. Let's have a discussion in the comment section below. Adios.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out.